Well, we have a ban. There are obviously some very bad things going on, and we're going to figure out what's going on, and we're going to be very, very careful. We're allowing Syrians to come in here. We have no idea who they are. We have no paperwork. There's no documentation. They're pouring into the country, our country, by the thousands. You see what's happening in Germany. It's a mess. You look at Sweden and some of these other countries that are taking them. It's a total mess. And I want to be very, very careful.
That was Donald Trump earlier today talking about preventing foreign Muslims who cannot be properly vetted from entering the country. Now, Trump's proposal has been under steady attack from critics right here at home. And yesterday, London's newly elected Muslim mayor took a swipe at the presumptive Republican nominee, saying in part, quote, Donald Trump's ignorant view of Islam could make both of our countries less safe. It risks alienating mainstream Muslims around the world and plays into the hands of extremists. Earlier today, London's new mayor doubled down on this attack. Take a look.
By giving the impression that Islam and the West are incompatible, you're playing into the hands of the extremists. It's about the message it sends from the greatest country in the world. I mean, what is the story of America? And I think, I think Donald Trump doesn't get the history of America. And my point with respect to, Americans is, look, I think, you've got a choice when it comes to the elections in November. You've got a choice of hope over fear. You've got a choice of unity over division. You've got a choice of somebody who's trying to divide not just your communities in America, but divide America from the rest of the world.
Here was reaction. The religious director of the Islamic Center for Greater Toledo, Imam Talal Eid, and the president of Act for America, Brigitte Gabriel. Imam, let me start with you. So he's basically saying Donald Trump's ignorant and could put both of our countries at risk if he doesn't say the right thing and not offend people with his words. Isn't that a threat, that either you say what people expect you to say or they're going to attack you?
Well, thanks for having me on the show. I would not really use the word ignorant. I just want Mr. Trump to be more sensitive toward this issue.
But let me ask, isn't there implied threat there, that it makes our country less safe? He's saying either say things the way we demand or you're going to be attacked. That's how I interpret that.
Well, my concern here that I do not want to see American Muslims paying the price of irresponsible statements made by Mr. Trump.
Well, the greater victim of hate crimes, according to government statistics, are Jewish Americans, just so we're factually accurate. I guess my next question to you is, and I think this is very important for our audience to understand, is that we have the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, our FBI Director, our Assistant FBI Director, our Chairman of our House Homeland Security, Obama's former envoy, General John Allen, to defeat ISIS, have all said the following in some way, shape, or form, that ISIS will infiltrate the refugee population. Are you willing to gamble with the lives of Americans and bring people here knowing that our own intelligence community is saying ISIS will infiltrate it? I'm not willing to do that. Are you?
Well, let's straight up the record here. I'm not against the FBI or immigration
authorities. I'm asking a question, though. They said ISIS will infiltrate the refugee population. Until we can guarantee the safety of Americans, shouldn't we have a ban?
Then they need to do a professional work rather than make a general statement that, okay, I'm not going to let
And how do you know what's in somebody's heart? How do you ascertain if somebody's a good person or not?
So why you want to prevent people like the mayor of London? Why you want to prevent them coming here?
Because he's saying either Brigitte, he's saying either you change your views or you'll be attacked. You will be less safe.
Well, we are less safe. We were welcoming the Muslims, and then they attacked us on 9/11. At 9/11, we had open arms. As a matter of fact, President Bush immediately after the attack said Islam is a religion of peace, and immediately went to the nearest mosque to tell Muslims, don't worry, we love you. We know this has nothing to do with you. And since then, we have had terrorist attack after terrorist attack on foiled terrorists who are plotting to kill Americans over and over, regardless of what we say. This sensitivity stuff is below baloney. It's time to protect the American public. And for the mayor of London, who is actually a Muslim sympathizer, who actually represented Imam al-Qaradawi, one of the most notorious radical terrorist imams, who's actually banned from Britain right now, the same mayor representing him, he has no business lecturing Americans about who we get in and who we get out. As a matter of fact, Sean, today, a British television, Channel 4, aired a documentary about what British Muslims really think. And the head of the Equality and Human Rights Commission in Britain said, quote, "We made a big mistake in judging Muslim immigration." And he said the report talked about Islamic immigration, integration, and segregation. And they said Muslims are creating nation within nation.
I've got to run, but I will tell you that unless we can vet them and guarantee the safety of Americans, we better listen to our intelligence community, or Americans will die.
Exactly.
And ISIS has told us that's their strategy. Thank you both.